All right. Well, good evening, everybody. We're going to go and get started with our admitted students webinar series. This is our second webinar. As a reminder, in this webinar setting, we cannot see you or hear you, but you can use the Q&A function to ask questions as we get started. Tonight, we're going to be covering a few different things. We'll be covering different holds that impact your ability to register for classes at Red Raider Orientation. We have a few guests. We'll be talking about different holds. Especially including our TSI holds, which impact our students here at Texas Tech University. So we will get started. We do have some chatters in here answering questions. So again, please feel free to use the Q&A function to ask any questions you might have. This is also being recorded, so you can watch this later on at our Red Raider Orientation website, just www.orientation.ttu.edu. Let's begin. My name is Zach Manning. I work with Red Raider Orientation and Red Raider Camp here at Texas Tech University. Again, we are so excited that you are here, and we want to make sure that you're getting the information you need to be successful this coming summer during orientation so that you're ready for classes in the fall. So now that you're admitted, we want to talk about different registration holds that can impact your ability to register for classes, as well as the Texas Success Initiative, or TSI. Some of the registration holds you'll see, those holds will indicate when an action is needed. All these need to be removed prior to your registering for classes during your orientation. If you're wondering how to find your holds, you can do that when you log into the orientation system at www.orientation.ttu.edu. Under the questionnaire page, which is on the left-hand menu, you'll see where it says questionnaire. You can see all the different holds that you have on your account there. They can also be viewed in RaiderLink. Many of those holds and common holds that each of you have is the academic orientation hold. There are some specific academic advising holds, immunization, housing, and again, TSI. So let's talk about those. Academic orientation. There is a two-step process to have your academic orientation hold removed. First, you must complete your online modules. Those opened up yesterday. You should have received an email telling you what you need to do to access those modules and how to complete them. They're about 60 to 90 minutes worth of content that you can view up until classes begin. But make sure you complete all of those prior to your Red Raider orientation. That leads us to our second step, which is attending your in-person Red Raider orientation session. Once you are at that orientation session and you have completed your modules, that hold will be removed. Academic advising holds. A number of colleges and academic departments will place advising holds to ensure that they see you during your orientation. That means that you just need to attend orientation, attend your academic advising, and that hold will be removed. There's nothing you need to do at this time for that. For more information about those holds, you can contact our office, Orientation Services, at 806-742-2993. You can also email us or visit our website, www.orientation.ttu.edu. Another common hold that students have is their immunization hold. This is a state requirement for students who are 22 years of age or younger on the first day of classes are required to submit proof of your meningitis vaccination. You must have received this vaccination within the last 5 years. You'll submit these records online through the MedProctor app. You can access that on the admitted student task list or find out more from Student Health Services at 806-743-2848. You can also email them. One thing to note about the email address that it is a little bit different with Student Health Services at ttuhsc.edu, or you can go to their website where they have a page completely devoted to new students in the immunization hold process. Again, Student Health Services is who you will need to contact to take care of that hold. I highly recommend you do that now. One thing about MedProctor, it will show you there's a $10 fee, but there's also a free option. So if you scroll down on the MedProctor app, make sure you choose the free option before submitting your records. Another very common hold for our students is the housing hold. Students with fewer than 30 college hours, this does not include dual credit or credit by exam, are required to live on campus. So make sure that if you have 30 or fewer post-college hours, you make plans to live on campus. Post-high school hours, you need to make plans to live on campus. A registration hold is placed on your account if you do not meet this criteria or an exemption. For information about criteria on this hold or to request an exemption, please contact University Student Housing. Their number is 806-742-2661. You can email them housing@ttu.edu or visit their website, www.housing.ttu.edu, for more information about the housing requirement to live on campus. And that leads us to another common hold where we brought in the experts. TSI, the Texas Success Initiative, is a state mandate. And so I want to hand it off to our compliance office for TSI. And Kelsey Syra is going to answer all your questions that you have. Again, feel free to use the Q&A to ask any questions you might have. Kelsey?
Perfect. Thank you, Zach. So the TSI is a state mandated test that ensures students are college ready in English and math. So students that apply test optional are not exempt from the TSI. So that is a state requirement. We can't get around that with the test optional. And students should be in compliance with TSI prior to attending orientation. So this is recommended so you don't have to deal with us during orientation, and that can be kind of stressful. So kind of get that done before orientation. So you just slide through there. Go to the next slide. So this will go over our holds. We do have 3 different holds depending on where your student is at in the process of TSI. So a TSI hold, new student, that just means that they just got admitted and we haven't gone through the student's records yet. Once we go through those records, if the student has submitted evidence that they are TSI compliant, we'll just get that hold removed. If we are still needing some information from the student, we'll send them an email with what we need from them. And then we'll also put that hold as TSI hold needs all. If we need evidence for reading, writing, and math, or we'll do ELAR, so that is our reading and writing portion of TSI, or we'll just do math, depending on what information we already have on file for the student. Now, if the student has tested and they are just below the state requirement for the TSI assessment, that's fine. We'll change that hold to development required in whatever section they didn't pass in. So if it was all sections, so again, that's reading, writing, math, we'll put required all, or we'll do ELAR or math, kind of just depending on that student situation. So this is required prior to course registration. So there are exemptions, and that QR code will take you to our website that will show more exemptions that we have. But if your student has an exemption, we highly recommend submitting that exemption so that student doesn't have to take the TSI. And then they'll be good to go and don't have to worry about it at orientation. So we do recommend doing that as soon as possible because it does take a couple weeks or a couple days for us to get information from like College Board or from other colleges. So we'll definitely do that before orientation. Now I'm going to just go over some of the most common exemptions that we have. So exemptions by test scores. So we'll do SAT, ACT, STAR. This isn't on there, but we also do AP tests. That will be on our website if you want more information on that. But for SAT, it's a 480 on the evidence-based reading and writing, and then a 530 on math. And then ACT, you'll want to pay attention to that. Their state changed the requirements for ACT last year. So just make sure you're paying attention to the testing dates and when the student took the test. So if it's administered prior to February 14th of 2023, we're going to need a composite score of 23 with a score of 19 on English and 19 on math. And then the new one, so it's after February 15th of 2023, it's going to be a 40 on English and reading. So English and reading have to add up to a 40, and then it's a 22 on math. So again, just make sure you're checking those dates on when the student took the ACT and see which requirements they would meet. STAR, it's English 3, 4,000, and then Algebra 2, 4,000 for STAR. And then I'll go into exemptions by credit. So if you have any dual credit classes or any college classes, so for English, for writing, TSI, we just need an English credit with a D or better. For reading, it's going to need to be any history or political science course, or it has to be English 1301 with a graded D or better. So if you are transferring or you have dual credit from out of state, you'll want to go check on our registrar's website and see how that English class is going to transfer over. It has to transfer over as English 1301 to meet that reading requirement. And then for math, this one's pretty easy. It's just any college level math class with a grade of D or better. So you'll just have to make sure you submit your official college transcript. We can't take college level classes from a high school transcript. So if it's dual credit, it still needs to come from the college. And then also with the test scores, make sure you submit like college SAT will come from College Board, ACT, it's act.org, and then STAR testing, you can get that from your counselor, I believe, and you can just email those to us. And then if you don't have any exemptions, that's okay. You'll just go ahead and take the TSI. Or if you met, say like for SAT, you met the reading and writing, but not the math, that's okay. You'll just take the math portion of the TSI or whatever you need to do. We can cherry pick and make you complete based on multiple things. So if you need to test, there's that QR code that'll take you to our academic testing center's website. You can test online through tech, you can test on campus, or the testing center can work with you and get it set up at a testing location near you. So if there's a college near you, you can take it there. Or high schools are offering it. You might want to check with your high school to see if they're offering it still this year, and you can take it there. Just note that if you do take it at another location, you will need to send us your TSI scores. So you can just, usually they'll give you like a PDF of it. You can just email that to us and we can get that updated. So if you do want to test through Texas Tech, Academic Testing Services will be your go-to. Their phone number, email, and then that QR code again takes you to their website, and you'll just fill that out and take it through Tech. If you need help determining if you are compliant or not compliant, give us a call, email us, or again, check out our website. Our website lists a lot more exemptions than I mentioned. So some of them are, if you have your associate's degree or any degree in that matter, we'll make you exempt based on that. So, and then another exemption I did mention is military. So if you're active duty and or if you have your DD 214 and if you are honorably discharged, you'll be exempt. So you'll just need to send us your DD 214 or your active duty letter, and we can get you exempt based on that. And then I'm going to turn it over to Robin Straley. She is with the College Readiness Office, and she'll let you know more about TSI coursework.
Good afternoon. We are excited to be here to have this conversation to help you be prepared when you attend Red Rider orientation. As Kelsey mentioned earlier, every student must demonstrate their college readiness in math, reading, and writing. And students who do not meet these standards, when you attend Red Rider orientation, you will be given documents that discuss the appropriate developmental courses you must enroll in when you meet with your advisor. A big point that we want to make sure everyone hears is that Texas Tech University does not accept college prep or college bridge coursework to exempt a student from TSI classes. There are some universities across the state that do accept these programs. Texas Tech is not one of them. So if you are taking a college prep or a college bridge class at your high school, the best thing you can do is sign up to retake your TSI assessment. Those courses are meant to help you pass that TSI assessment. So hopefully you've strengthened your skills, you go and you retest, and you earn a passing TSI score. Submit that to Texas Tech, and that will be what exempts you from that developmental coursework when you attend Red Rider orientation. So the way this process will work, on day one of orientation, if you are told that you will need TSI coursework while at Texas Tech, you will receive a paper from our department that will explain those course requirements. We will have an information session on day one to explain the information on that sheet so that you feel comfortable with what your TSI score tells you about your math and English capabilities. and the appropriate courses here at Tech we offer to help you be successful in your core academic math and English course. On day 2, when your advisor goes over your degree plan and they discuss the math or English class you need for your degree, at that time, you will also talk about the TSI support classes that go with those core academic courses. Think of us as built-in tutoring during your semester. Our classes partner with those core academic courses to help you be successful here at Tech. If you walk into orientation and you have not submitted any type of TSI scores or exemptions, you will be expected to enroll in TSI classes. So it is very important, like Kelsey said, to take that test or possibly retest for a higher score before you come to orientation. Once you get here, you will be expected to enroll in TSI classes if you don't have any scores exempting you. For transfer students, your information is all contained in day 1. So instead of day 1, meet with us, day 2, meet with your advisor, you will just do all of that in your day 1 event for Red Raider orientation. After you come to orientation, you can go ahead and go to the next slide, Zach. After you attend orientation, we will give you 2 weeks to look over the classes you need and get registered for the appropriate courses. After that 2-week time frame, we will add the TSI hold onto your schedule. That hold makes us remember that you need to be taking TSI support classes throughout the fall semester. And once you take and pass your TSI class and your math or your English class, that TSI hold will expire. So it's super important, get those scores sent in. And then once you do find out if you need coursework, get those classes put on your schedule. After you leave orientation, if you decide to go retest, or maybe you're going to test for the first time, when you submit those scores, if we see that you now have met an exemption or you've met the college readiness score for TSI, our department will reach out to you and say, congratulations, you have demonstrated college readiness and you no longer need those TSI classes that you registered for. So you will be advised to drop that TSI coursework, and we will notify you if you reach this status. So the last slide we have here for you is if you want some study materials to help you prepare for the TSI assessment, or you're wanting to retake that assessment, this QR code is posted for you on our Texas Tech website, where we have our TSI course information. We're trying to provide support for students taking that TSI test. You will also get more information from us during orientation if your scores show that you are 5 points below the passing college readiness score. These are students we feel like are very capable of getting a short jump start or a little boot camp, if you want to think of it that way, that our department will offer during the summer. And we will encourage you then to go retake that TSI assessment. You'll notice this is for students who are very close to passing, and we will reach out to you if you qualify for this area. So be looking for more information this summer on this opportunity.
All right. Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you, Robin. Again, we know that this is a new step for each and every one of y'all, and we want to make sure that you are supported along the way. So with that being said, please note that we have a number of webinars continuing to come up. They're going to take place. The next one we have is next Tuesday from 6 to 6:30 p.m. It's going to talk about on-campus housing and residence life. You can also see we have more webinars coming up on financial aid, fraternity and sorority life, student engagement and success, on-campus housing, what the move-in process is going to look like, and then financial aid and student business services and understanding your bill. With that being said, again, we are here to help you and support you. If you have questions, please reach out via email, orientation@ttu.edu. You can call us from 8 to 5 on Monday through Friday, Central Standard Time. That's 806-742-2993. You can also look at our website. We have a lot of information there, links to Kelsey's information as well as Robin's information about TSI and other holds are on our website. And you can also follow us on social media. We have a lot of information going out there at TTU Orientation. With that being said, I know some questions were asked throughout. we want to open up the floor to any other questions that you might have about any kind of holds that are applied to your account, your academic orientation hold, your housing, immunization, but most importantly, TSI. I know there's some TSI questions asked about transfer students and coming in with associate's degrees. And I think the biggest thing I would say is if you are accepted test optional, is to test before you get to orientation. You can test from home. You can do that this week, right? And get that taken care of so that it's something that you don't have to worry about when you get to orientation. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to ask them now. If not, we will finish up tonight. And so Hallie has a good question about how do I find out which TSI I have to take if I have to retake one. Again, Hallie, you would see that in your hold. It would tell you Kelsey's compliance team would tell you exactly which portion you need to retake. You can see that on her holds, and Crystal and Kelsey can answer that. Okay. Let's see, Maddie, you had a question. If the college classes I have taken are already on the transcripts, can I send proof before the final spring grades are posted? Maddie, are you mentioning that possibly you took that in a previous semester prior to spring? Yes. I will tell you that Crystal and Kelsey worked very quickly on getting those scores processed. But yes, I would send any proof you have of test scores or college transcripts. And Kelsey, if you want to answer that question.
Yeah, so if you are currently in those classes for this spring semester, you're gonna want to wait until those final grades are posted because we can't do anything until we have those grades. So just go ahead and wait until those grades are posted and then submit that final college transcript tag.
Thank you, Kelsey. Looks like another question come up about meningitis immunizations. And then Kaylin, your question, is there a way to not live on campus? Yes. So housing, again, if you visit the housing website, there are options for exemptions, and Emily will put that link on there, and we'll tell you exactly what you need to do to get that hold removed through housing. Brianna, a good question about what is the difference between holds and modules. Holds are different things that basically stop you from registering for classes before you're completely prepared. Modules there's content in there is about 60 to 90 minutes worth of content provided to you to help you know what it means to be a Red Raider and how to help you succeed in orientation and beyond. So you can go to the modules. Those are on our orientation website. If you could just go to www.orientation.ttu.edu, and that is where you will see those modules there, and Emily's sending you some more information about that now. Eduardo, will tech let us know if we don't need to live in the dorms? I have my associates. So Eduardo, this is really driven by when you earned your associates. I know we have a number of high school students who earn their associate's degree prior to graduating high school. So it really depends on when you earn those hours. So if you have 30 hours post high school, then you would be exempt, but you will need to reach out to housing to make sure you get that hold removed and make sure they get you taken care of. I think that's one thing I definitely want to encourage you is to be proactive, right? If you have questions, ask the questions. If you're not sure who to ask, let us know and we can direct you to those folks. Same thing with scores for TSI. If you were accepted test optional, don't wait. Get your scores in as soon as possible so Kelsey and Crystal can get those processed and make sure that your hold is removed or changed to the proper developmental coursework hold. So any other questions you have, we'll be here for a few more minutes to answer your questions. If not, thank you so much again for being here. We will have this webinar recorded so that you can see it. It'll be on our website, www.orientation.ttu.edu. You can access that later on tomorrow. If you have any other questions, though, again, please feel free to put those in the Q&A function there. Devin, a question asked about how do I access my TSI scores? Kelsey, do you mind answering that question for us?
Yeah, so if you took it at your high school, you can go to your counselor or whoever was in charge of that TSI testing. Usually it's the counselors, and they can get your scores, and then you can just email it to us. If you took it at another college or just somewhere else, or if your high school just can't find your TSI scores, you can email our academic testing services, and they can get those scores from the database and send them to us. So their email, I think Crystal's probably going to add it, Their email is testing@ttu.edu. And you'll just need to send them an email just saying, can you get my TSI scores? And they'll send it to us. So super easy.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelsey. Aaron, you had another great question. Where can we see our registration holds on our account? That'll be on the orientation website. When you log into the orientation system, if you go to www.orientation.ttu.edu, and I know Emily's putting it in there right now, but if you go to that website, you can log into our orientation system, and on the questionnaire page on the left-hand menu, you'll see a page that says questionnaire. That's where you can see your any kind of holds you have for registration. You can also access those via Rater link. Great questions, y'all. Any other questions you have? We got about 4 more minutes here. We are happy to answer your questions. Again, if you don't have them tonight and you think of them tomorrow or next week, please feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information is on the screen there so that we can answer all your questions prior to your Red Rater orientation. Again, we're having these admitted student webinars to make sure that you feel more confident and comfortable in your decision to be a Red Rater. Again, we are so excited to meet you this summer. We got a lot of great things planned, but please reach out with any questions you have. All right, and with no questions coming in, I'm going to shut down this webinar. Y'all have a great evening and a great rest of your week, and we look forward to you joining us at our next webinar on Tuesday, where we're going to talk about housing and the process for signing up for that. Yeah, Christine, that's a great question. Can you take the TSI online? You can test from home. You'll need to contact our academic testing services, and I'm sure someone will be putting the link to that right now in your answer there. But yes, academic testing services provide testing online from home anywhere in the world. You can do that, and we highly recommend you take that test prior to your Red Rater orientation. Great question, Christine. Any other questions? Again, please feel free to put them in the Q&A so that we can get your questions answered this evening. All right, y'all have a great rest of your evening, and go Tech.